This is a post that I published on Instagram not so long ago. The text on it says, "We don't have to sell our soul to sell our offers." It's just my simple take on marketing in my design style. And it got a lot of really good feedback, but in all honesty, what usually happens is I post a post like this, and then I just move on. So today, we're going to start working smarter. We're going to take this single piece of content and use Canva AI to turn it into a full content suite. A carousel, a Facebook ad, a LinkedIn post, and a short reel. And we're going to get Canva AI to help write all the captions too, so that everything is ready to go and in one place. Plus, I'm going to share with you the one thing that really allows me to do this in Canva with the confidence that it will still look and sound like me. Now, before we even touch Canva AI, I want to talk for just a second about why this approach works. Because despite what Canva sticks in front of all its AI tools, it's not magic. It basically learns from what you give it, which means the better your starting point, the better everything it generates is going to be. Now, this post is already a pretty strong starting point for my brand. There's a clear message, intentional typography, nice photography courtesy of my friend Anastasia, and my brand logo just sitting quietly at the top. That's the blueprint it's working from. But equally importantly, and the thing that makes me feel genuinely confident using Canva AI for this, is my brand kit. Colors, fonts, logos, tone of voice, all saved right here. So I'm not asking the AI to guess my style. I'm handing it a fully briefed creative direction. Okay, so with that said, let's get into creating this content suite, and we're going to do it in less than 10 minutes. The first thing I'm going to do is make sure that I have the correct brand kit selected for my brand. Then I'm going to go to the top left where the Canva AI icon is, and just click on that to open the sidebar where we can chat. I'm just going to enter my prompt into that chat window and hit submit. Now, I will share these prompts with you for you to use, but basically, I'm just describing in normal language what I want and any specifics I think are important, and reminding it to stick to my brand designs and styles. While it's processing, Canva AI actually tells you the steps it's taking so that you can see the process it follows. Now, this can take between 30 seconds and a few minutes, but after a short while, here's what it's come back with for me. And this really is the bit that I love and I find so interesting. I didn't have to tell it exactly which font to use for what, or what color palette, or where to put things. It already knew because the brand kit is there. So we have a slide 1 that's got a hook, and you can see that there's a couple of things that need tweaking. So like this little headline was overlapping that one. And then we've got simple slides, but they've drawn on some of the designs I've used in the past, and it's used my brand colors. At the end, it's got a call to action, but I also want to adjust that because there's a weird line break. So of course, I'm going to go through and review the text, review the way that the layout looks, make sure that it feels and looks like me. But honestly, that takes very little time. The structure is there, the aesthetic is there, and we just made a carousel in minutes. Next, let's get to the caption. So once again, I'm going to ask Canva to help me and write the caption for me. It's added the caption just here in the chat, and what I'm going to do is just copy the caption, and then although I would ordinarily edit it, for this one I'm just going to take it as it is, and I'm going to add it into my notes for this page. And basically it just means that this then stays with the carousel, so I can always refer to it by just going to the final page of the carousel and looking in the notes page. So that's one down, let's keep moving. Next I want a Facebook ad, and here the goal shifts slightly. An advert needs a layout that works for the feed, a headline that stops the scroll, and usually a little more focused copy than just an organic post. So again, I'm just going to add a prompt in. I'm going to ask it to create an advert based on this first page that we used originally. And in this case, I don't even have to add a specific size or format because Canva has design sizes specifically for Facebook adverts. So the Facebook ad has been created, and you'll see it's even labeled the pages, so it's easy for us to know what the carousel pages are and where the Facebook ad is. If I click on that, you can see it's formatted for an advert size and style, and it's even reframed the text so that it works for an advert. Now, I want to use one of my brand images for here, and I can still do that just by going to my brand and my photos and swapping something in that I think would work better for this advert. But again, it's stuck to my brand fonts and colors, and it works well just as it is. Obviously, before you put money behind a paid ad, you want to carefully review the copy and the images. AI copy is getting easier to spot just by everybody, and trust takes too long to build to risk that. But at least you're not starting from scratch. You have a working advert to start from, and you can just amend it right here in Canva like you would any other Canva design. Now, once again, let's get a caption to go with this. I'm going to just add in my prompt by going back to the Canva AI window, and I'm going to ask it specifically to create a caption for the Facebook advert. It's created a headline, body copy, and I can just copy and paste this again into the notes page so that if we want to use that in a written caption, we can do that too. All right, so the next one is LinkedIn, and this one is actually really interesting because it's different to what else we've done today. LinkedIn is a more business-focused platform with a different audience, headspace, and different formats. People on LinkedIn are in a professional mode. They're there to think, not just scroll, which means that we can give them a bit more to chew on, and the design needs to be amended too. So again, I'm going to paste the prompt in, which you can grab in the download, and we will just ask it to create a LinkedIn post and also to change it so that it fits with the format and platform. The LinkedIn post is really clean and simple. It's used by brand colors and just a strong statement that really grabs attention. Because LinkedIn rewards depth in the caption. So I'm going to ask Canva AI to draft a caption that specifically works for LinkedIn. You can see it's longer, it's a little more in-depth, and it asks a question to get people engaged with that post. Once again, I'm just going to copy and paste this into the notes for the specific page, so we have it easily referenced whenever we need it. And now we've got our next platform content done. The same message, different treatment, and with that caption in the notes, we're ready to move on to the next one. Now, before we get to the reel, I've actually put together a free prompt cheat sheet for this video because I know how annoying it is to try and pause and rewind 15 times trying to copy something down. So it's got all the 7 prompts that I've used in this video in one place on one page, ready to copy and paste. Just grab it from the link in the description, adapt those to your own brand and content, and see what Canva AI does with them. They're a really good starting point, but the fun is in refining them so that they work for your brand and your style. So first, resize. Now, I could just go to hit the resize button at the top here and select the vertical video format. But in this case, I'm going to use Canva AI to do it for me. So again, I'm going to paste in a very simple prompt asking it to use that first page as a reference and create a reel-sized design. So there we have a resizing for our reel. Now you can see there's a gap on the bottom where the image doesn't quite fill, and of course, because this is an editable design, we can just scale that ourselves and adjust anything that we need to. So for example, I might want to change this arrow out, and we'll do that in a second. Now obviously you can also swap in a different image in the back here, or you could actually even swap in B-roll if you've got it. So I'm going to go to my uploaded videos, and I'm going to use this blurred video that I've got of me working in the background. Then I'm just going to add a couple of animations. So for the text, I'm just going to add a really simple clarify animation, and I'm just going to adjust the speed on that so that it comes in a little quicker. We've obviously got that subtle movement in the background with the B-roll video, and then I'm going to go to Elements, I'm going to search for an arrow, and I'm just going to add in a really simple arrow that I can then rotate to point towards the caption, resize it, recolor it, and of course, if I wanted to, I could then add an animation so that when it appears, it just indicates where we want people to go. So I'm going to change the direction down, and that now gives us a really simple animation for this slide. And honestly, for quote content like this, where there's a single statement, less is more with animation. One elegant text entrance does the job. You don't need the whole design flying in from different directions. For me, that restraint is part of the aesthetic. So essentially the video part is now done to attract the attention. And so the caption is where the conversation is going to happen on this reel. So once again, I am going to turn to Canva AI and ask it to write that caption for me, and then give it a couple of seconds to write the caption. As we've been doing, we can just copy and paste it, or we could ask it to make any amends if we're not happy with what it's actually provided. I'm going to put this into the notes as is, and we'll just assume that it's good to go for now. You'll see Canva AI puts in a working page or a temporary page into our pages at the bottom here, and it's hidden so it doesn't appear in any of our designs, but you can just delete that. And now it means we have our original page, we have our carousel, which has a number of slides, then we have our Facebook ad, we have a LinkedIn post, and we have a reel to attract attention and engage with conversation, and all of that is in one collection and just done in a few minutes here. And that's really it. One post becomes a whole content suite, so you can multiply your reach without having to multiply the amount of work you have to do or the time you have to commit. In fact, this all took us less than 10 minutes. Plus everything is sitting right there in one collection in Canva, ready to go whenever you need it. The beauty of this approach is that you're not starting from scratch and having to create multiple new designs just to be visible on multiple platforms. You're starting from good content, content that looks and sounds like you. and you're just letting Canva AI essentially translate it into the language of each platform. It's like the resize or translate tool, just better. This is when conversational design really feels like it could be a partner. When your brand kit is already set up and you know who you are and what your brand looks like and stands for. Please let me know in the comments if you are already using Canva AI to help with design, and if you have any tips for making it work well. I'd really love to hear those so that we can all learn to start making the most of it. And of course, if you found this helpful, please do subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate your support in growing and spreading the word so that I can keep making more content like this for you. Have a fabulous week, folks. Look after yourself, and I will see you in the next one.